Balancing the opportunities and the risks of engineered nanomaterials is really important, but it's not always easy. And sometimes through our research we discover that what looked like a good idea doesn't work as well as we thought it would. For instance, here's Francis Schwartz on using copper nanoparticles to preserve wood.
Also größere Partikel können nur sehr schwer die Holzstruktur unserer einheimischen Koniferen eindringen. Und deshalb hat man gedacht, wenn man jetzt kleine Nanopartikel verwendet, dass die Einbringmengen und die Verteilung im Holz besser wären.
So you've been looking at how effective copper nanoparticle-based preservatives are. What did you find?
Also unsere Studien haben eigentlich gezeigt, dass es keinen wesentlichen Unterschied gibt zwischen Nano-Kupfer-basierten oder konventionellen Holzschutzmitteln.
Findings like this might seem a bit disheartening, but they're especially important in helping make informed decisions on how nanotechnology is used most effectively and with the greatest benefits. And in other cases, this balanced approach shows how nanotechnology can be used effectively and safely. Take the use of carbon nanotubes to make strong materials, for instance. Carbon nanotubes are long, thin tubes of carbon atoms that are incredibly strong and light. When they're added to plastics and metals, they can make them much stronger.
Carbon nanotubes have exceptional properties such as high strength and stiffness. If they are put into the polymer matrix, they could form an interconnected network, thus giving rise to stronger structural toughness, flexible modulus, and increased electrical conductivity.
Unfortunately, if these long, thin nanotubes become airborne and are inhaled, they can cause considerable lung damage. And so to be used successfully, it's important to make sure that they stay where they're supposed to. In your research, you looked at what the likelihood was of carbon nanotubes being released when these materials were aged or abraded or cut. What did you find?
We produced a nanocomposite with epoxy and carbon nanotubes. We used aging experiments and immersed these composites into water, exposed them to UV light. In these experiments, we did not observe a release. However, in abrasion experiments, we did observe release. So the particles were released, included the polymer fragments with or without carbon nanotubes, and also a small amount of freestanding carbon nanotubes.
Should we be concerned about this?
We used the abraded particles in a toxicity study. So they are used for the lung cells, and we observed no acute toxic effects. Therefore, we think the effect is very limited.
In the case of carbon nanotube composite materials, there are clear opportunities with using nanotechnology. And while there are important concerns about possible health risks, we discovered that because release and exposure are likely to be very small, the benefits far outweigh what look like negligible risks. This ability to re-engineer common materials and to use them in new ways is a common theme in nanotechnology. Another example is how we can use natural materials in new and interesting ways, like cellulose, for instance.
Zellulose ist der wichtigste strukturelle Bestandteil aller Pflanzen. Man kann mit ganz einfachen Methoden diese Nanocellulose-Fasern aus Holz oder anderen natürlichen Materialien herauslösen. Diese Nanofasern weisen eine sehr hohe Steifigkeit und auch Zugfestigkeit auf und lassen sich deshalb hervorragend ausnützen, um Kunststoffe zu verbessern.
And how well do these materials perform?
You can improve the stiffness by a factor of 100 and the strength also by orders of magnitude. Da Zellulose ein natürliches Material ist, kann man erwarten, dass die daraus isolierten Nanofasern keine Risiken mit sich bringen. Es gab aber lange keine Studien, die das auch wirklich gezeigt haben. Als Teil dieses Projekts haben wir und andere Forschungsgruppen zeigen können, dass Nanocellulose in der Tat viel geringere Risiken mit sich bringt als künstliche Nanomaterialien.
Another area that has been attracting a lot of attention is using nanomaterials to increase the performance of lithium-ion batteries.
Nanomaterials in battery have already proven that it can increase the power available from a battery. And second point is decreasing the time required to recharge a battery. The last point is nano structure can enhance battery life. So we are mainly focusing on cathode nanomaterials, and also we focus on bio and environment assessment using these nanomaterials.
So you're working with these new nanomaterial electrodes. How big of an improvement have you seen in the performance of your batteries?
So we have big enhancement in capacity and energy in weight and in volume. And also we could recharge our batteries in shorter time compared to micron size.
Whether we're designing better batteries, creating strong materials, or developing better ways of treating disease, the NRP64 program has shown us the tremendous opportunities that exist with engineered nanomaterials. But we'll only be able to take full advantage of the opportunities of these technologies if we learn to use them responsibly.